Woo, hello, dreamers. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on here. Hello, dreamers. How are you doing? I'm going to give you guys a little time to come in, to stop by, to check us out. But if you can't catch us now, you can always catch us later. But I just want to say hi, how y'all doing? Take a breath. I'm doing this 30-day challenge, right? That I'm a self-care challenge that I'm trying to get people to do with me. But nobody's joined on yet. Y'all gotta support a sister. Get on this 30-day challenge with me. But in doing so, I'm really having fun with it. Like I'm really learning things that I'm going to do. I'm going to keep in my routine, and then learning things that I'm just like, okay, this is way too heavy for me to be trying to do all the time. Maybe I'll think about doing it once a month or something like that. So in that I do these series once a month, and I come on and I have phenomenal guest speakers. So that's what tonight is. So I could come to you guys, but let's start the introductions. You guys, as you all know, and if you join in and I say, hello, dreamers, y'all need to say, hey, what's up, T? Something back. So just make sure that you say hello back, or how you feeling, how you doing, what's going on with you, and if it ain't so great, I know I always come on with all this energy on 20, and maybe you ain't feeling 20. That's cool. That's cool. Just say how you feel. Just say what's going on with you. That's the most important thing. Just keeping it transparent and real. All right. So start living your dreams. Go Live training is a conversation by seasoned professionals that provide phenomenal advice on how to live your best life. That's all this is. Just trying to figure out different ways and different tools and connecting with people. It might be, I always tell people that's why they have Burger King, McDonald's, all these different type of burger restaurants, because everybody got something. Every restaurant got something you like. And so I want people to maybe that I'm not a fit, but there's somebody in this group. There's somebody out there that is a fit for you. So that's really what the group is about. Just making connections, building your tribe, figuring out who it is that you like, or who you want to, what it is you want to do in life. All right. So that's how that goes. Let me see. I got a couple people. Hey, Ayana, how are you? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Hi, Lorraine. How are you? Good afternoon. And thank you for joining, Elizabeth, all the way from Nigeria, Africa. This is so amazing. I just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So let me get going, because, we only got 30 minutes, and 30 minutes rolls so fast. So you may know I am T and Stacy White, lifestyle coach and founder of the Start Living Your Dreams Training Facebook professional development group. All right. So what I like to tell people is today is the day to begin. Today is the day to begin. If you haven't already, stop all that stuff, because I went through my 30s and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I thought I had everything planned out, but then 30s happened, and then life happened. Then things got real. And so when you have a family, you got to do some things that you have to sacrifice sometimes. And so that's what happened. And so I really was like, well, where do I go from here? And so this is where I went from here, and I'm loving life right now. I'm loving the things that I'm doing in life right now. And I just dare you. I dare you to dream bigger, whatever that is. I dare each and every one of you right now to just dream bigger. All right. So this is my scripture. This is my thing. This is when I wake up in the morning, what I believe in, what I feel. Because, I'm always talking to people about passion driven purpose to live in your mission. Okay. So y'all know how I feel about that. Passion, purpose, and mission is what I live for, what I live to help other people do. So 2 Timothy's, who have saved us and called us with a holy calling, not according to our works. See, that's what was happening in my 30s. I thought I had all planned out, and I was going to do what I was going to do, and I was going to do it. Well, that ain't how it works. But according to his own purpose and grace. But this is the part that I love about this part, the scripture the most, is when it says, which was given us in Christ Jesus before the world began. So before I was even thought of, there was something for me to do. God had already had something for me to do. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm thankful to even know what I'm doing, to even know what it is that I'm supposed to do. So I want to encourage people, help people, drive people to doing exactly what it is that they want to do, that they're here. They're here to do. It's a reason why you're here. All right. Okay. Enough of me yapping. And I want to introduce our guest. So this series that we're doing is living life on your terms. Okay. It's one thing to allow life to live you. But it's another thing, baby, when you are living life. And so what happens is when we're young, we get caught up in life and we just start rolling with it because we really didn't have a plan and we just rolling and rolling and we're like, ugh, how? And so we're going through that transitional period and we're like, how? I don't like this feeling. So I have invited some phenomenal guests, like I always do, to come on and share their expertise, share what they're doing, share just some tips about or whatever it is that they want to share about how they living on life on their terms. Because we need to learn how to do that because life gonna do what it's gonna do. All right. So I have, and she's gorgeous, beautiful. When I got her profile picture, I was like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Sophia Monique is her name. I'm going to let her introduce herself because she can do it better than me. All right. So without further ado,
hello.
Good evening.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Monique. I am a graphic designer of a business that I call Beauty of Love, which is short for spreading the beauty of the love of Christ. I'm a graphic designer, illustrator, author, and I also am a women's encourager in the body of Christ to encourage women to really follow Christ and keep him as the center of their lives. And the group is called Unfeigned Love, and that is also something I run on Facebook, as well as I just launched a new group called Believers in Business. And so one of the biggest things that I am striving to do is spread the beauty of the love of Christ. And so that is a little bit about who I am. I also have 2 books out. One is a children's illustration book called Coming Before the King. And also I wrote a book called Unfeigned Love, which is where the group was stemmed from. It's basically about my testimony of how the Lord began to change my perspective of what love really is.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I just want to tell you, I probably have so many recordings saying this exact same thing, but God is so good because all I do is I go out in this Facebook world and I say, hey, I'm looking for guest speakers. If anybody's, wanting to guest speak and talk about what it is they love that they do and they're passionate about. Right. And he always sends me believers. I'm just now meeting you. Right. He sends me believers they know exactly what it is that they're doing. And that's exact. And it's so purposeful for what it is that I'm doing. And so I don't have to make it fit. I don't have to go out there and do much pub, on it at all, using Facebook. And he's brought me some beautiful, amazing people. And I just wanted to say that. And I will tag, whatever groups and all that information in the broadcast so people can find you. They can sign up or whatever it is that they need to do to follow what you're doing. So next thing is let's talk business. So I know you kind of told us a little bit about, what it is that you do. But what was that thing? Because everybody has that thing that goes, this is it. This is it. So what was that?
So it's interesting. The title of my business stems from the answer to that question. And it's really when I was first, before I got saved, I was actually in cosmetology school. Well, prior to that, I was in culinary school. So I was trying a lot of different areas and it just wasn't working. And so I was going to come out with a salon, and that salon was going to be called spreading the love of beauty, right? And then the Lord brought a man of God into my life, which is now my husband, who gave me a word that was saying that I needed to change that name from spreading the love of beauty to spreading the beauty of love, right? Which is essentially what took place in my life, because around that time is when I got saved. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and my life completely did a 360. I was in a lot of sin. I was doing a lot of bad decisions. I was in that lesbian homosexual lifestyle. I was, just really strung out in a different direction that I did not need to be in. And I was trying everything I could to just make it happen, right? I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what I need to do, or maybe this is what I need to do. But what finally made it stick for me is that the Lord did all this. Like, I didn't try to be a graphic designer. I never thought I would be one. I always loved art. I always liked to draw. I always liked to paint and do different things like that. But I never thought about pursuing it for a career. And essentially how it lifted off was that I started doing flyers for churches. I started doing my husband's website. I started building different things for him. And as I did that, this birthed. Like, God just began to open the doors, and I can only give God the credit, because I never would have guessed that this would be where I would be. And so it really blesses me, because it's so much more than creating a website for somebody. It's so much more than a logo design. It's like helping somebody birth their purpose, because at the end of the day, most of these things that they're bringing to me are things that they've tried so hard to birth for so long and couldn't. And I take pleasure in making sure that it finally comes to life. And so I like making people's visions a reality. And so it's like imaginations that they have, or thoughts they have, or desires, or even something that God may have laid on their heart to create. It's like the Lord uses me to help bring that forth, bring it into reality. And so I really think the biggest thing for me of really seeing that this was it, you know what I'm saying, was the fact that I didn't do it on my own. Like, it didn't happen on my own. And that's when I knew, like, this right here is only God. And so door after door, it started from flyers. It started from literally just making flyers to now I'm doing website designing, social media management, helping, a brand specialist. I help people just cultivate their brand. And so it's just such a pleasure to see how things have, like, moved forward from the beginning to now.
Awesome. And I like to hear, and I like to express when I have guests on and talking about just living on their terms. And when I say that, I do want people to know, because I don't want people to miss the big label that's not in the title. When I say living on your terms, that's because you and God have already had a relationship. Like, y'all talking it through. You and the Lord are talking through these terms that you are living on. So I do want to say that, so people to understand, because that can be translated as living life on my terms, and you doing some way that you shouldn't be. And so I just want people to know, no, living life on my terms is not. I have this saying that I'm going to put on a shirt that's saying my God-given personality is too big for a box. So stop trying to put me inside of a box. So that's so just doing that, letting the little light that God gave me, let it shine in my lane. Let me do me. And I'm truly going to let people do them, because I can't do it all. And so I just love to hear people's stories about, how they came to where they are in business, just in life, so because you never know your story, and I think that is something that needs to be said, because I work with young people, and I think just hearing what I heard from you, just 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes would be a great help for some of these young people. And I know that we'll touch, we can touch base on that, because through the school that I work with, we have clubs. And in the club, we have this thing, me and another teacher formed it, and I help her out, and it's called Hangout. Like, girls hang out, and we hang out, talk about being girls and what that looks like and what we gonna do and all those kind of things.
Right.
However, and I'm not downing anybody's sexuality. I'm just saying, I think when you're in middle school, it's a trend. Yeah. And a lot of the young ladies signed up for I don't want to get it wrong, like Gay Alliance, or, kind of. And a lot of the girls signed up for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so my point that I'm trying to make with all this is that I think that the youth need to be talked to, because I don't think that they really know. They might think they know because it's a trend and everybody, I'm kind of figuring out
Right.
myself,
But
and
they
I know
don't, yeah.
I don't think they know to know to know. And so I see that that's something that these young ladies, because they need to hear it from other people
Yeah, I
to
understand.
get them to understand, well, if this is you, okay, but if not, I want you to be clear, because this is a path.
Yeah.
So I want you to be clear. So I think that that's I can't wait to kind of partner with you or talk with you about, whatever great things that you have going on, so we can pull these young ladies or just talk to them. That's really all I do anyway. I can't persuade nobody to do one thing or the other, but I can be a voice in their ear. All right. So the next question is, how are you living life on your terms? What exactly are you doing to live life on your terms?
So I think the gist of it is I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit of my story and how I got to, this place here, and how things took place, but just a little bit about my testimony in a short span. So basically, when I was younger, I was about 8 years old, and I was sexually molested, right? And then also on top of that, around that same time, I was diagnosed with ADHD at that time. Now, a lot of people think that that's okay. That's just, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. It's not real, or the people will have like different perceptions of that. But personally, for me, it was an attack against my identity, as well as making me feel as though I wasn't normal, right? So essentially, in order for me to fit in with the other students in my age group, I had to take medicine in order to be able to be qualified as normal, right?
Wow.
And that took a toll on me, because not only was I already like battling with a few things with other students in that time frame, but also it was like, now the teachers were saying, okay, well, you don't fit in, so we have to medicate you because you don't fit in. And then the next step was agreement of my family, which was like a double, maybe even triple effect. You know what I'm saying? And so essentially, when that took place and as time went on, I had a lot of depression and mental struggles. Eating was a problem. Like when you take certain medications for ADHD, you don't want to eat. Then when you're coming off of it, it's a lot of depression and suicidal thoughts, things like that. And so essentially, I want to be a voice for that little girl or that little boy that's in that position that can't speak for themselves, who are dealing with mental struggles that really may not even relate to the things that society tries to tell us it relates to. It may just be a place of needing to open up and speak about it, open up and talk about the things they're dealing with. Because essentially for me, I just had dealt with something that was major, like being touched in a certain way that's not, how it's supposed to be. That's a lot in itself. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe other things tied in with it. But essentially, to your point about like being a voice for just children in general, that is like the biggest desire that I have, is to make sure that I can express the things that I felt while I was on that medicine, to be a voice for them, because they don't really know. They don't know. They just go with whatever they're told to go with, or whatever's trending, or whatever it seems to be the cool thing at that time, but not really know the fullness of why they're doing this thing. For me personally, the reason why I went that route of my sexuality going towards lesbianism and things like that. For me, it was because I was afraid of being hurt by a man again. And I had so much, I would say, like abuse in that area, that as it transpired, I was just like, okay, so the answer is I don't need to fool with it at all. Right. So essentially for me, I was looking for all the answers in the wrong places. And that's what my book Unfeigned Love is about. It's about the fact that I was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
So essentially, with that in mind, I just want to encourage people to know the way that we find to and get into a position where we really understand our identity, we can only find that in Christ. That is the only way that I was able to find out who I was and be able to live in that. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a journey. There's still old mentalities and things that I'm constantly being cleansed from and growing from, because there's traumatic things that can take place in a person's life that we think are just events, but they really have a root, an effect on us that we have to be cleansed from. We have to be healed from. And a lot of the decisions and things that we make have consequences. That's what sin is. Sin has an effect on us more than we understand. And so in order for us to be a new person and be able to really fully be who we were created to be, is we have to go to our creator. And without going to God to find out who you are, you don't know who you are. And that's what I had to learn, is that the reason why I wasn't finding the answer to number one, love, and number two, who I was as a person, is because I wasn't looking for God. And so that's what I believe has led me to this place now. And when you say like, how am I living on, my terms, I personally, and when you explained it a little bit more, I personally desire more so to do whatever it is that God wants me to do, because I found out that doing it my way never works. It never works.
It's not working. How loud can we say that? So I know right now we only got 3 people watching, but numbers don't matter to me. How loud can we say doing it our way?
Right.
Well, it's not working.
Right. So essentially, at the end of the day, I personally just want to do it different this time. I want to approach things differently. I don't want to do it my way anymore. And so with that in mind, I'm constantly looking for, okay, God, what is it or who is it that you want me to be? You know what I mean?
Yes, literally all the time I'm saying that. And literally, because I was such a control freak, that was my problem, being just wanting to control. I know we always put mechanisms in our lives because of how our lives are set up. So I had to do that while I was a child. I had to feel like I was controlling my environment. But as an adult, it wasn't working for me because I wasn't listening to what it was that God was telling me to do. And so that's true. We have to understand it's not on our it's not the way that we want it to be, and it's not even on our time. And so for a lot of people that's frustrating, and it's not. But when I tell you one thing, we start listening to God and we start moving in all the things that he wants us to do, it's easy. Like it's so easy. Like answers that just start coming to you. People will start coming to you, because you used to get those one people that they didn't want nothing but leech off you and do all that. But then now you're gonna start getting the ones that's going to better you. You're gonna be like, better me? We doing that? So I totally agree. I totally agree that we have to, in order to live on your terms, there's some things that you're going to have to sit down and write about and talk over with the Lord. And he is the only comforter. He is, no matter how bad people try to run from him or whatever that's going on with them, he is especially in COVID. Like that's what I tell people, the only way I'm living life on my terms is because of the relationship that I had to decide to build with the Lord genuinely. Not this stuff that I thought I was doing, because for years I've been to church since I was a little baby. I've always grew up in church, but it was I knew church. But it's different when you start building that relationship one-on-one with God. So yes, Lorraine, what you talking about, Lorraine? You must be connected to move. Yes, to move. That's right. Let me put it up there, what she said, to move the vine. Yes, and you have to be connected with him in order to go the way that he needs. And I think for people, if you are in a place of transition or loss, you need to just say, Lord, order my steps. Lord, I surrender. Those are the things you need to say, and be honest with it. And that, and then see what he says. See what he come up with for you. All right. So the next question is, what did you do to get to this point? So what were some of the strategies, or because it's easy for us to say, oh, put God in your life.
Yeah.
That's easier said than literally done. Because I know that
I think personally, like, okay, what it means to, put God first, or to put God in your life in order to get where you're going. I think what that means for me is that it's like a surrendering, like daily with every single area. Like I just launched a course yesterday called God Over Everything. And this course is to help women and entrepreneurs in general to learn how to not only have the business, have your home life and have your faith walk, but to in all areas put God over everything. So essentially for me, it's a constantly, God, what do you want me to do about this? Or what is this? Or how do I approach this? Not only am I just making decisions on my own anymore, but I don't trust my own decisions. So therefore I have to go to him about everything. And because of the multitude of mistakes that I've made in my life, I found that I can't do it on my own. So with that in mind, I think that to get to any place of what we call success, I believe true success comes from a position of what God has called us to do as individuals, what he has in store for us, what he wants us to do. Because if we're not doing what the person that designed us wants us to do, then we're not really living. We're not really fulfilling the reason why we've come here, because everyone is designed for some purpose. And we have to figure out what that purpose is, what that design is. What is it? God, why did you make me? And essentially we can't find that until we understand who God is as himself. We have to seek him with our full hearts. We have to desire him with our full hearts more than that car we want, that wife we want, that husband we want, that child, that family, those positions in business. You know what I'm saying? Over everything, I believe the most important thing is, God, how can I please you? How can I serve you? How can I be more of a child of God? How can I be a servant in your eyes? You know what I'm saying? And so essentially for me, beyond the business and beyond the things, when I speak to people on the phone, or if I'm just doing a service for someone, I want to ask the question, how are you? No, really, how are you? Like, what's really going on behind the phone? Like, can I help you in a sense where when the doors are shut and nobody's around and you're still crying, like, can we talk about those things? Because we get on Facebook, we get on social media, and we talk to so many people, but it's like, hey, how are you doing? How's the weather? No, like, really, let's have a deeper conversation, especially with COVID going on. People that don't have a faith in Jesus, could you just imagine how wrecking the season is for them? Like, I think it's just so important now more than ever to connect, to help, to inspire, to encourage, to teach others how we're making it, because they're trying to understand, how are you walking on this water? How you still smiling when all this stuff is going on? You know what I'm saying? So essentially, what I just want people to, if they take anything from anything I said today, I want you to know that you are loved and that you're not alone. You're not alone, and you're not doing this alone. So to get to a certain position where you're trying to get, I think the most important thing that has helped me is to realize I'm not alone. I'm not doing it on my own.
Yes. I love that. You know what I love most about this conversation that we're having is your transparency. And I think that that's what's missing. That's what's missing. That's what's missing in our society right now. That's what's missing in life. Because I think people put these image two ways. Some people put images of you, make you something that you're not. They just assume that you're something that you're not, or that they think something differently about you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just want people to see me, the real me, and understand that. So I really enjoyed like your transparency and just being able to talk about all the aspects of your life. And I agree with you. I think that's why this conversation ended up happening the way that it did. Like I was saying earlier, it ended up being just something for me to do for my birthday, but it turned into these series that are just simply phenomenal for me, to talk to people and meet new people across the world. And so, but in that, I want people to be transparent. Like, this isn't when I'm speaking to you, I'm gonna give you my all, regardless of what you think, because a lot of people say, oh, you're always made up. Do you really think I walk around my house like this? Like, no. So it's just, I want people to see, no, my heart is good. The Lord for 2020, he gave me peace, love, joy, and faith. those are the 4 words he told me that I needed to get through. Every year I get a word or a confirmation that I need to use. The 2018 he told me to be ready so you don't have to get ready. And so I started planning some things that ended up working for 2020 now. That's the things that I planned then that he
Wow.
told me to do is what is actually in coming up now. You
Yeah.
know, what I'm using now. And so just those kind of things that I'm saying, like these are the kind of things that you have to understand what love is, just loving people for who they are. Like I was talking to my brother-in-law earlier this year and I said, I gotta love people even if I don't know them. I know that sounds like something I should have known, right? Like I feel like I know I should have known that, but when you know it from here, it's such a different kind of relationship then. Like regardless if I know this person, regardless if I love them. I love you. I just met you today and I love you because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I shouldn't have all these preconceptions on what my standards of love is because that's not how Jesus works. And so I think that those are the things that we have to be transparent about because when I tell people I love them and I don't even know them, they're looking at me like, is she good? She all right? But no, I really have to be that transparent to understand I love you with no strings attached, unconditionally. Like, because, that's just the way it has to be in order for me to be talking about I'm living in my passion and my purpose and my mission and God is the, head of my life and all that. That's what it has to be. So I think that that's how you get to certain points in your lives, just learning and light bulb moments. Because for me, that was a light bulb moment. Yeah, I knew I'm supposed to love people, but I didn't know. I'm thinking I love them because we built some kind of relationship, and now I love them, not just because they're walking down the street and I have to love this person. So I think that that's how you get to a certain point in your world or your life or your passion and purpose is when these little light bulb moments that God gives you that yeah you coming along but you ain't there yet. Don't get the big head. You still got some more work to do. So I think that that's how He works. And so first off, are there any questions on Facebook? Anybody want to ask Miss Sophia, Marie, anything? We got Elizabeth. I'm going to see what she's saying. I got my contact, but I can't see nothing. So I got to put y'all on the screen. Miss Elizabeth is just being known and loved. Yes, just being loved. Like just understanding that you are loved. You are loved. If nobody told you today, you are loved. And really mean that because the world has gotten us to think so many restrictions on everything, how we're supposed to look at people, how we supposed to do this. There's so many restrictions, and nobody can just be pure from the heart anymore and just say stuff without it being a thing. Like I'm the type of person, like when you came on, I said, oh my gosh, she sent me her profile pic and she's just gorgeous. Like if I see something beautiful, if I see a beautiful rose, if I see a beautiful car, so why come I can't say I see a beautiful person, without there being anything, happening or going on. And so I think that just when you get to the point, like I have gotten to living life on my terms, when I know it's right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say I know it's right because I could be changing somebody's life today, just by saying whatever, kind word that I'm saying. So we just have to keep that in mind. All right. So this is the point where we get to just the freestyle moment. So everybody has something about them or they have a business. So you can tell us more about your business, but you can also tell us about something we might not even know about, something that you also do, because I think people like to put women in a box. So it's like, yeah, you might do this. That might be what you do on a daily basis that pays your bills, or you enjoy doing it and that's how you do it. But there might be another aspect of you too that most people may not know. So, but you're open to share whatever it is that you want to share in freestyle. So you can just talk to us and tell us what you want to talk about.
Okay, I think personally, I think one of the biggest things, to your point, what you were just saying, and I was thinking about that, is like just like supporting people, like being able to talk with them and be yourself. I think a lot of us we'll put a smile on our face and we'll go forth and we'll present this person. But really deep down inside, there's like something else that's taking place. There's something else within that you feel like you're boxed in, right? You feel like you're in this cage or something. And I just always am trying to break that, because for so long I was like smiling in people's faces and wasn't happy. You know what I mean? And it was like, can't you see? Like,
Can't you
this
see?
isn't real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just really want to be, as much as I possibly can, a help to others, and be able to be that friend that you never had. You know what I'm saying? That person that genuinely just cares and wants to, you know, see you do well, like cares about your soul, cares about what you're doing with, you know, your life and your decisions and the things that you're doing, and making sure that you know that there is support. You know what I'm saying? There is people that support you. There is people that are here to pray with you, to help you to get into a position. Like, we don't have to be, I guess, like stuck all the time where there's not community. So to that point too, Unfeigned Love, the reason why I created this community, I was looking for so long for like just a Christian group that I could glean from, or just feel support in, without the judgment, without the missing links. I guess I don't really know the fullness of what I was looking for, but what I've realized is that I have to create what I was trying to find. And so with that in mind, I just encourage just many of us to just really seek God's face. I can't express that enough, because if it wasn't for him, I really don't know how I would be right here on this camera, even showing you guys how I do these graphics and things. But also, on a side note too, I also am in the process of just delivering more illustrations. I think art really does inspire people. And I think even in a time like this, that not only can I inspire with art, but also with a message, with a testimony. And I believe merging those together and bringing it forth to people is going to really make a difference. And so, so I don't know what much more to say. I'm sorry. I really
don't be sorry. This is freestyle. You can tell us what you want to say, and I think it's beautiful. I just think when, like I said, when people are really talking from their hearts, people feel that. And that's really what it's all about. And one thing you said about art, I live with artists. So I'm not a draw artist, but I'm a creative artist. So it's two different kind of minds in my house. They don't think like me at all, but they are artists. But I will say it's so therapeutic. I'm learning so much about art. And my children got me to going to different art museums and experiencing a whole new world that I never probably would have even touched on going, because of their love of art. And so it's very therapeutic. And and people need to, I was like, the school that I teach at, one year they were saying, oh, we don't want the kids to color. And I go, well, that's weird. I mean, I know I do teach middle school. So I'm not saying I want them to color all day. But for me, I still color. I got markers, and I will doodle and I will color, because it's therapy for me to do that. And I would hate to take these young people's therapy away from them. The ones who have a creative mind like that, who just want to draw or just want to have that time to sketch. So art is therapeutic, and it is important, and it is inspirational. So just keep doing what you're doing with that, and then let people know where they can find you. I know that I tagged you in here, and I'm also going to get all her information so I can tag her group, her Facebook group, so everybody can join her group. And when you get into these Facebook groups, find a group that speaks to your heart first off, and then be a participant in the group. I'm finding with a lot of my groups, I'm a part of all kind of diverse groups. And so with one side of my groups, they flourish, they connect, they talk, they collaborate, they get on these little pages, and they really do things that generate income for each other. And so I think as a community and we need to do better with that. We need to join groups that we know that we're going to be a participant in, that we know that we're going to be a positive, voice in it, and move that group forward to being whatever it needs to be. I am, like I said, I'm going to put it your group link in there. And one thing, when you have a group that's speaking on the word of the Lord, then it's going to move you. So I know that, like I said, I know I will be joining the group. And
Thank
so those are the things. I got a comment. Let's see. I got one comment. Let's see. All right. Let's see if I can. God never picks the perfect person to be what he wants. He picks the very imperfect and makes them perfectly his. Oh, Elizabeth, that was beautiful. Beautifully said. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what was that? Look, what was I on? I done lost. She done got me. She got me. I can't remember where I'm at. Oh, it's so freestyle. So freestyle, one thing about freestyle that I love is just talking about or speaking up on the behalf of something. So it's kind of like my Freedom Friday bit that I do, which we have to, is when I speak on something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about children. And as a community of people, we have to do better by our children. We have to do better by our youth. We have to figure out how to communicate with them, how to reach out and get them, how to, because they're literally going through life changing things
Mhm.
that we've never had to go through. I mean, I've never been through a pandemic, and I wouldn't want to go through a pandemic as a teen or as a preteen, or I wouldn't want to go through all the things that I'm going through already that's extra on top of what I had to go through. And then you got a pandemic, you know? So we just have to reach out, love them, love on them, and don't be so critical. We got to figure out as a community not to be so critical of them and to listen. I know some of the things that they say might seem outside the parameter of our minds, but we need to listen to what they have to say and not do this, because I know my generation is a do this, and I'm trying to be better at being a listener. So that's my freestyle with that. Just if you know a youth, a young lady, we're here to mentor them. I know there's plenty of people that can help them, but we just need to use our platforms, use our voice, use our time to encourage them to be the best, so that they understand before they're in their 30s or late 20s what living life on their terms is. Because then you make so many mistakes that you got to fix. You fix the mistakes while you're trying to get on this train to living life on your terms. When we have so much social media now, that our young people should not have to go through that. They should not have to go through making so many mistakes. And there's people out there that are passionate about getting them to the next level. All right. Well, I will say this. I know I kept you longer than 30 minutes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Tell them one more time. I know you said you had a book. So what's the name of your book?
So I have two books. I have a children's illustration book. It's called Coming Before the King. And then I have a women's encouragement book called Unfeigned Love. So both of those books can be found on my website, as well as my graphic design services at www.beautyoflove.co. So there's no M at the end, and it's just beautyoflove.co. And yeah, so if you go there, you basically find everything, like my Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. So, and the group as well. And if you want to, I'll send you, when we get off, the link to the Facebook group too, since you mentioned it.
Yes.
And then just, if you guys want to come join it, I would love to have you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming. All my people that drop in, share this. We share all kind of stuff on social media, all kind of stuff. And I know this isn't hilarious, but this is serious. So share this with somebody that you know, because you don't know whose life you're changing. When you share something this powerful, you don't know what relationship you are building when you share this. So the only way that we're going to put out the things on media the way that we want to be looked at or seen is if we share the good stuff.
Right.
And so just share this information, share this broadcast. And I'm excited about the new series. So you guys let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't already joined the Start Living Your Dreams training group on Facebook, and it's a lot of stuff. I put a lot of informational stuff on there, or stuff is happening in your city or something powerful is going on. Send it to me so I can send it out to the young people to the young entrepreneurs on the group. And also, one last thing is we're doing this 50 woman small biz celebration, just trying to find 50 women who want to celebrate each other without having to buy anything. Because you can support someone without having, and it gives you 11 days on how you can support one of your sisters without literally buying anything from them. And it will support them and boost them and get them where to whatever goals that they need to do just by you supporting them. All right. Well, I enjoyed myself tonight and I won't keep you guys any longer. You know, you can catch the replay on YouTube. And also you can just watch it again, like I said, on the Start Living Your Dreams Facebook page. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I enjoyed you. Thank you, Sophia, Monique, for coming on, for saying yes to the call. And you make sure that you have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to meeting with you and figuring out where we're going from here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye-bye.